Introducing altHR, a HR super app. Imagine you are Andy, and Andy got his job offer to work at altHR, and is excited to start virtually. He's then given access to the altHR app, in which he can be onboarded virtually through the altHR onboarding module in order to get to know the company better and to know what to do on his first day of work. Besides that, he is also able to access the altHR checklist. That way, he can access to his respective information on what he needs to get started, as well as to make sure that he doesn't miss anything during his onboarding process. Not only that, being a new employee, Andy is clearly not familiarized with all of his fellow colleagues just yet, which is where the altHR directory comes in handy. With this module, it is able to allow him to look for any respective person that he wants with ease and hassle-free. But what about when it's time for Andy's vaccination and he needs to apply for a day off? With the altHR's leaves module, this allows configuration of different leaves types and approval routings so that he can take his vaccine leave seamlessly and instantly with a tap of a button. Furthermore, we all know that working isn't just about getting your respective tasks done. It's also a time where you meet new people and celebrate the festivities that comes with it. In this case, when Andy's birthday comes around, his colleagues are able to be notified through the team calendar and have the convenience of sending him a gift using the altHR store. Showing appreciation for your colleagues has never been easier. This is altHR, loved by employees and every HR admin's best friend. altHR is easy to use and is used by businesses of all sizes given its flexibility. Need assistance? Fret not, as it comes with all the support that you need to get started. The first form of support is through our altHR Academy videos. With altHR Academy, you're able to access in-depth walkthrough videos of each of our modules in order to guide you on how to use it. And the best part, it's all recorded, which means you can replay and pause at any time you want and as many times as you want, so that you're able to follow through with ease. As for the altHR's knowledge base, learn all about each and every module as well as their differences to enable you to have a smooth experience when your company uses altHR. Besides that, we also have the altHR Masterclass to enable you with direct communication with our team during a 45 minutes call in which we will briefly go through a few modules and answer your burning questions at the same time. Last but not least, introducing the People's Platform to enable you with direct communication with an account representative during the onboarding process for your company. With this, we make sure that your company is being onboarded and guided through a seamless process in order to help kickstart your journey with us. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now and reap the benefits of what our HR Super App has to offer.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I'm the Customer Success Team Lead in altHR here at Digi. And I help small startups to large enterprises to implement altHR across their companies. And I love sharing best practices and recommendations to adopt a new digital HR software. And I'm excited about today's webinar as we will be talking about how will HR evolve in 2022. So this is our very first webinar of 2022, brought to you by altHR, Digi's super app for companies. And throughout this webinar, please feel free to ask your questions and we will answer them during the Q&A session at the end. And we will also be hosting a breakout session if you have any questions, queries related to your company and altHR, please join our breakout session. And if you haven't already, make sure you check in through the QR code above, so we can send you an informational brochure about altHR. And finally, hear this. We are hosting a giveaway. So who doesn't like giveaway, right? But it's only at the end of the session, so I will share more about that later. So do stay tuned till the end. Okay, I'm done with all those formalities. Let me introduce you to our guest today, Ms. Elya Haron, and she is the head of human resources at Todak Culture Sendirian Berhad. So Todak is an urban lifestyle brand which offers gaming peripherals and accessories. And they also have a professionally equipped studio and gaming team. I recently just heard that their gaming team, Todak Mobile Legends Bang Bang, just emerged as the winner of the Malaysia Esports Selection 2022. How cool is that? And to learn more, please visit them at todak.com. Now that's enough from me, so let's hear from our speaker herself. Over to you, Elle.
Hi everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's not morning. It's almost afternoon. Hi. I just want to say hi to everyone and Natalie. Thank you for having me here. So yeah, I'm Elya. My name is Elya. You can call me El. Currently, I'm the head of HR at Toda. Toda is a brand. Thank you, Natalie, for explaining about what we do and stuff. So I'm basically in the HR industry for this year will be my 15th year.
Wow.
15th, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be basically work in various companies during my past 15 years with HR for MNC, GLC. Now I'm with an SME. This month will be my 8th month, to be precise, in Toda. So I'm quite loving it so far.
Okay,
So
that's great to hear. Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm sure with your experience in like all these different organizational setups, not just GLC, PLC. I think I read consulting firm, government agency, and right now SME. It's so diverse because like I'm sure our audience here come from different organizations as well. So yeah, I think like pandemic has been around 2 years, and I'm sure many of our audience today, you who are watching, have probably gone through a lot. And like, hey, we're still talking about pandemic, and probably some of you are still trying to steal through. And that's why you're here today. All right. So, HR transformation is never done. There's always so much to do. So let's get on to our main event, today with my first question. Al, can you share with us, how it was like for Toda Group, in the beginning of pandemic?
So okay, this is cute. When I first joined Toda, it was June. It was back in June 2021. That
Okay.
was the day the government announced total lockdown, whereby everybody must lock down themselves at home and work from home. So I started my first day working from home. And then it was and then I was the head of HR over there. So when I first joined, I quickly I had to implement the working from home SOP, and from the look of our people here in Toda, most of them are millennials. They used to be working collaboratively, have had this social interaction. It was pretty challenging at first during the pandemic. You mean the early months lah. And then it was quite back then we didn't have any collaborative tool. Most of our stuff, because we are an SME, many of the things are still manual. So we had to use like Google Business Suite. We had to use WhatsApp, emails, and Trello to get things organized. Yeah, but fortunately we adapt quite fast because I think because of our population are mostly the millennials. These are their day to day. I mean, so okay lah. So far so good. Challenging but improving, adapting quite fast.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people here can relate to the situation you face. I mean, I heard a lot from our customers as well, saying that, well, at last back then always like paper. everything on paper, like manual.
Yeah.
And right now, when they share with us, not just on the HR side, actually, like even other parts of their businesses, how they have adopted, a lot of digital tools. But I'm sure there are also many challenges. It's easy to say like, oh yeah, we've done this. I'm sure there are a lot of challenges that are faced by management, HR, and also employees. Can you share a bit more?
Oh, the challenges. Okay. Definitely communication challenges, miscommunications, misunderstanding. Because we are relying very much on text messages. We didn't see each other. Sometimes people misinterpret what we are
Yeah,
saying. And then sometimes the expectation didn't flow through, the clarity wasn't really clear due to all this lack of social interactions, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah. And then another thing is actually balancing managing morale and expectation of employees, because some of the employees can work from home and some had to be on site.
yeah,
So definitely those working from home, those with families, they are, they had to juggle their life and also work. The single ones, sometimes they felt very lonely because they used to go to the office and had social
yeah.
interaction,
Absolutely right.
managing their morale, right? And
Yeah,
then even though those who had to work on site, sometimes they had this, why must I work on site? I also want to work from home, like my friends, and they felt pressured. So these are some of the challenges faced by the employees and as well as the management. And then one thing from the management side, um, it's quite difficult for us to monitor, staff working hours. We need to put more trust in our employees in delivering their days. We need to give them more flexibility, but at the same time, we need to make sure work is done. Those are some of the major challenges that I feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just take the first point, like especially on the miscommunication. I think many companies have these issues, like especially for HR, because at the end you are the bridge, like between employees and also management. How do you communicate certain, like new initiatives, certain changes to the employees? Yeah, what measures have been taken, like trying to solve those challenges, and as well as, like making sure the morale in the company, it's still there.
Yeah. Sorry, you were asking what? Sorry again, Natalie.
Oh, okay. So because on your first point, you mentioned about
Yeah.
like there might be some miscommunication because like people interpret like certain
Messages
message
differently.
differently. So it becomes a challenge for a company to, roll out a new initiative or come up with a, like a new changes, but you need to announce, and HR as the bridge between management and also employees, how have, what kind of measures or processes that you've taken to solve those challenges?
Okay, definitely. That lies into in. I'm not saying that I'm a good HR personnel, but all HR personnel must be able to, you know, be the bridge between employees and also the management. You need to be more empathized with whatever the employees is facing, and you also need to be more sensitive when delivering the messages to the management. So that's the role of an HR. When you communicate, we need to communicate using a language that both the management and employees can digest and basically provide clarity lah. So that's our role. HR, you need to be mind readers. You need to know, you need to have good communication skills. You need to make sure all these issues
Yeah.
are addressed. So that's where you come in lah. Be the consultant and make sure everything uh, is yeah. Just make sure that you can communicate it well lah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So
Sure thing. Yeah. And how about like maintaining the morale? Because I heard a lot, not just from HR perspective, definitely like among employees from my friends and like people that I know of. It has been challenging. Like you said, some people they they prefer working from home because they can take care of family. Some people they want to be out here, in the office. So like when it comes to implementation of like how the arrangement is being done, what kind of considerations are being taken? I mean, in the past, like 1 year to even like to 2022, what are the considerations that you as HR or like your management are thinking and like planning to do?
we don't really in Todak we don't really for the working from home individuals. If we provide them tools for them to work effectively at home or remotely. For
Yeah.
example, we allow them to bring their office assets back home. Our gaming development team, they used to be working in studios. Their computer are very high tech. We
Yeah.
allow them to bring them home. That's some of the support given to those who are working remotely.
Yes.
And in terms of those on site, because they are forced to work on site, because we are Toda. We have many companies. One of our business is a retail business. They had to be on site. E-commerce, right? So we do reward them in terms of we we let them carry forward all their leave balances because they couldn't utilize their leave. So we let them carry forward all their leaves, and there's no time limit for them to utilize those leave. And then we also provide them some monetary reward in terms of attendance. That those to basically motivate them, to motivate and acknowledge them more.
Okay, that's
Yep.
that's very interesting on like how you're trying to motivate them. And then I think throughout the process, were there any I think in terms of the challenges that you try to solve, were there any digital tools or systems that you use to, whether it's like business related tools or like communication tools? Can you share with our audience today? Like, yeah, what were involved?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Most of our population are gamers. We play games. So normally among gamers, they will use Discord to communicate.
Yeah.
So what we did was there are many other collaborative tools out there like Microsoft Teams, things like that. But at Todak, we use Discord and turn it into our virtual office,
Wow, that's
whereby, yeah.
interesting. Okay, tell me more. Tell us more.
So how we want our staff to feel belong. They're not alone. So we had a virtual office on Discord, whereby we decorated our Discord server uh, like our physical offices layout. We have a pantry, we have meeting rooms, we have bilik boss A, bilik boss B,
Okay.
bilik HR, and then lounge. So even when we interview new staff, we will bring them into our virtual office in Discord and let them see this is a virtual office. People are working. They can basically see and embrace the digitalness. The virtual working experience in Todak.
Yes.
So at the same time, we had a software house department where they created in-house apps and software. We had those tools to basically measure productivity as well, and we also use Trello for project management to make sure all our tasks are delivered and completed accordingly. So those and then for HR, we had we had altHR in September. Yeah, so it really helped. Back then it was manual. You
Yes.
imagine we need to fill out the leave manual, PDF, sign
Oh,
and email, right, and track. Even the attendance thingy. So we had altHR as well to basically help our journey.
oh, that's It's actually interesting. Like I think before talking about altHR, so I mean, for those that don't know what Discord is, it's basically a instant messaging and digital distribution platform. So it's actually quite, I mean, famous in terms of
It's
like, you know,
free.
young streamers, you know, like gaming. But it's interesting how your company adapt to, you know, because like looking at like the group of employees you have, I think that works best. So I'm not saying like, you know, every company that would work as well, but saying like, oh, because you are aware that there are many millennials and like younger crowd, then they would adapt to this kind of like virtual office setting. Very interesting. And of course, like
Yeah.
yeah. And okay, of course, like speaking of all HR, like I would want to know like how did all HR, you know, like help Toda? If you can share, you know, in 3 areas.
How? Basically, altHR they had this
Yeah.
the basics that
Mm.
every HR folks need, and also employees. It's not complicated. The UI is very simple, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it work. It does the job. And then furthermore, it is centralized. It is a SaaS, I believe, SaaS, software as a service. It's on the cloud. You can
Mm-hmm.
access the app. There's an app for it. You can also access it via browser, and then it's easier to access. And then other than that, the features we really love the features. Uh, the payroll feature basically are updated with the latest statutory info. They help
Mm-hmm.
us do the calculation and to check and balance, integrated with all the banking, reporting, M2E, things like that. And then they also had this time tracking
Yeah,
where
you mentioned
yeah,
about
yeah,
having to monitor
yeah.
productivity,
So
right? So
they
how?
can, yeah, the
Okay.
time tracking also help because employee, most of us are working either hybrid or I'm even working in hybrid, so there's no problem for them to basically um,
Log in.
sign in, clock out,
Yeah.
and then there's a reporting tool, and then the expenses tool also, the leave, the all the applications really help, and it's really easy to customize and maintain, and not customize, to configure,
Right.
yeah, for us HR administrators.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to hear, you know, directly from you. Because like we've been helping customers to onboard, especially when it comes to implementing all these leaves and expenses. So it's great to hear that it helps. I think especially for like the leaves expenses part, I cannot imagine, like especially when you mentioned back then used to be manual.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that means like you have to submit all of this, you know, in the office, and then right now you can't. So how has that, you know, like app make it, you know, how is the mobile app make it easy for employees to submit leaves and expenses now?
Last time our employees did not know that they actually have this kind of leave entitlements.
Oh, what really?
Yeah. So when
Okay.
we launch out HR,
Yeah.
they know, hey, oh my god, I have special COVID leave. I have what this kind of leave, like, and then the managers are also very happy because they got to see, they got to plan,
Yeah.
because there's like a view, the calendar view where you can see
Oh yeah.
everyone's leave. So it's really helpful.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I can relate to that. I think when I first started work, I also wasn't sure because nothing is on. There's no policy probably like properly written, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
app like this where I can check. Oh, actually, how many more balance and like how. Oh, actually, I am entitled to this, or actually, what's the limit? But right now, like I think in a way it promote transparency also, like within
Mm-hmm.
the company, because then they are aware of like because that's the employees benefits, right? Like then it's it's good that they are basically their visibility over like what's going on um
Mm-hmm.
within the company. Yeah. All right, thank you for your kind words. And I also like to take this opportunity now to just share a bit more on our HR. Um, So it's like a little break here. So altHR is Digi's super app for companies, and with more than 20, yeah, you didn't hear wrongly, 20 modules, ranging from people data management, leave and expense tracking, time tracking, and rostering. And there are many more. On top of that, we also have a great support team. I think Al can testify this. And we provide weekly master classes on specific HR verticals, as well as plenty of knowledge-based articles and academy videos to guide you through altHR. So do go to althr.my to sign up for a free trial, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. I'm really excited to continue our conversation here. I mean, like, since we're talking about altHR, are there any other reasons why you choose altHR? Because there are so many other HR tools out there. Definitely, I would say, like, we are the best, like HR app in the world. But definitely, after surveying all of them, what are the reasons that you decide that to choose altHR?
Okay, at first, before when I just got into the company, and when I first came in, because back then I was in GLC, like
Yeah.
companies like Petronas, we use SAP, and I'm also SAP certified,
Wow.
HCM certified. So I kind of feel like, okay, in SME we cannot use those kind of system. We need something more simpler. Something simpler and available. Very easy to use, and good user experience and UI. I actually I laid down the features that actually we wanted. We focus on the basic. Basically, we just want to have leave expenses, payroll, time tracking. These four only. The rest are bonus. So what I did was, because I'm in the SME industry, so I couldn't be asking folks in the very corporate, HR folks. So what I did, I actually joined some Facebook groups, the SME Facebook groups, and I
Oh,
asked a question in the group, and many of them mentioned altHR.
okay.
So and then,
Great.
before that, I did never heard of it. So and then I began surveying, and they had a promotion, and then they actually had whatever that we wanted, and they also had some other features like the spaces, the document, the sales kit, things like that. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Onboarding things and things like that. So, and we began to sign up for trial class, and Ken contacted me, very lovely and handsome chap. So
So like handsome
and
people from
managed,
our same.
yeah, but basically very good, very clear
Okay.
explanation, straightforward.
Yeah.
And then they had this. They allow us to actually experience and try it out.
Yeah.
Try and have a hand of it, because we also surveyed some other apps.
Yeah.
Like providers, they
Mm.
didn't really have this demo of, we can, like a trial version, things like that, for us to basically. Sometimes we just need to put our hands and try it ourselves, right? Then only gauge whether it's suitable for our organization. So altHR had that at that point of time, and the support was great, very lovely. So why not? Price also okay. Why
Yeah.
not? Yeah.
Great. Great to
Sorry, I
hear.
talk a lot.
Yeah, I guess like because I mean with the promotional price definitely it's like good value for money, right? And I think trying out I think I like the fact that you share about like it's important to try out
Yeah.
because I think your process about like just listing them down what are the features and you are very clear that it has to be especially for SMEs like it has to be very easy and then very straightforward for the employees to use as well as for admins right because I
Yeah.
think if you have like very complicated very chunky HR system they can do a lot of stuff but it's not what like
Doesn't meet the basic. Sometimes it's overcomplicating things. We just need now people like something simple. People are interested to, we need things fast.
Right.
So our HR had those and thankfully and that's why we chose it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I'm glad also that, like you get a good support, from our team, especially throughout your trial to see whether it fits all your requirements. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for your like sharing about how you finally decide to use altHR. And I want to continue with this. Now you're done. You have brought your company from like very manual HR work operations to right now, like like simple and digital, that transformation. Um, in 2022, what do you foresee? Some of the HR's top challenges and priorities are. Yeah, because like for the past 2 years, especially, I remember the beginning of the pandemic, everyone talk about, okay, digital transformation, and then we have like those SME digitalization grant. Government is trying to push for it. But then in 2022, what do you foresee? Like the top challenges, and what should HR prioritize?
We, COVID is unplanned. There are so many things that are unplanned for the past 2 years that happened, and then even our country also not politically strong. So one of the HR top challenges are sometimes the HR nowadays cannot operate. We need to change. We need to transform. So we need to focus more on culture, improving our working arrangement and culture, as well as strengthen our communication. Because this is just my own experience and opinion. This is just my own. I feel that we need to now, the world is changing, everything is remote, the metaverse, things like that. We
Oh
need
yeah.
to adapt, we need to be prepared for it. We can no longer force employees to work in the office. We need to basically allow, create a culture or policy that allow more flexibility and empowerment.
Can I ask you about this?
Yep.
Because I'm really curious, because I'm sure like the audience here, some, like, as much as thinking about like balancing, some, I'm sure they say like, cannot, I really need my employees to be back in the office. Oh, yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts about that? And I mean, with what you think actually you should, start having the hybrid with the whole world, like, changing.
For me, okay, you definitely need the social interaction, but perhaps you could do it because some people like sales in the creative department, they need to huddle and, brainstorm, things like that. Sometimes it work better when they sit face to face. They have that face to face. You still need to have that. I'm not saying that you should push that away. You need to have that as well. Maybe once a week or maybe twice a month. You still need that physical face-to-face interaction. That's how I feel. But and then these are, I'm talking about the population that can work remotely. Some, I'm not talking about those who are those engineers, on-site workers. They cannot, right? They do not have the option. So this is where, as employer, you also need to design policies. You need to relook at your compensation policies. What will be the motivation and a more rewarding compensation plan for these remote folks and also these on-site folks. So those are some of the, I think for me, the challenges. And then is to do this transformation is not easy, because you need, basically you just, the employers, HR need to look into the demography, need to see what best arrangement is best for the employees as well as the business. So it's really challenging because you yeah, that's our role, HR role. We need to move away from transaction based to more like, consulting based and, providing insights, things like that lah. And then other than that, need to work closely with the management also and the IT team. What will be the best tools to support this arrangement? So those are some of the, I think, challenges and maybe ways that HR could play in the future. I mean, for this year onwards.
Okay. I think before moving to Q&A, just last question. I think based on your experience, what are some of the tips and advice that you like to share to the HR professionals that are watching, in terms of planning for the rest of the year? So just a little bit more details, because I know that you said like what to prioritize, like maybe a bit more tips and advice on those.
Based on something that work in our organization, our management team basically allow more flexibility working arrangement, more flexibility to our employees, because people nowadays, they I believe we've seen our productivity is actually grown when we give these flexibilities. Instead of forcing them to work 9 to 6, we actually focus more on the output, the results, and also the value that the employees bring. We don't really basically micromanage unless the person really have some problems lah, as in always MIA and things like that. Always have not delivered things like that. And then other than that, just go back to basic. Don't over plan things and over complicate things. Avoid creating unnecessary, processes now, because now we don't know what's gonna happen. Now it's just you just prepare for the future. Like like I said, in the end of the day, our employees for HR, our clients are the people. The people in the company are actually our clients and also the management. So we need to, you need to design strategies that work best for our clients. The strategies as in the policies, the working arrangement, the compensation plans. So I believe I don't want to speak more. Do we still have time? Or do you want
Yeah,
to more?
we can go into Q&A so that the audience get
Yeah.
to ask the questions directly to you as well. And for those that you haven't put in any question, please leave your question there and then we'll pick it up so that Elle can share her insights and maybe her thoughts about it. And also for those that you have other experience or maybe things that you have done or like challenges you have gone through and you like to share with the rest, do also leave it in the comment. I think we should, build up a community where we share more about, how we overcome this and in a way can encourage each other lah. All right. So let's put up the first question. Okay, Elle. How do you foresee the flexibility of remote working will look in the near future? I think we kind of covered that, but I think Nicholas said that it's still not sure if traditional working arrangements will ever truly become the norm again. Okay, so it's more of like whether traditional working arrangement will it ever truly become norm again?
I think I'm not saying that we never know, but you just what as HR, what we can do, we can just make a working arrangement hybrid, an agile working arrangement. Maybe that's the right word. It can work both remote and also hybrid, because but from the current situation, it seems like it's looking more into remote. But I'm not really. I cannot see the future. But just as HR, just prepare a hybrid working arrangement. Then that can benefit both population.
Okay, understand. Let's have our next question from Isa. When it comes to employee engagement, do you think it's more crucial now to enforce it since there are many new hires during the pandemic? And do you think this is a factor for employee retention nowadays?
Okay, when it comes to employee engagement,
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I don't know. when it comes, I'm not so sure whether and what kind of enforcement that we should do. Like now, previously we used to have like clubs, hari rekreasi, things like that, more physical engagement, like team building and things like that. But this is where when you do the hiring, right? When you do the hiring, this is HR role to make sure whoever enters the organization understand that this is the current situation, and we will no longer we will pausing all these physical activities, but we will have more virtual engagement instead. So this is how we should educate our current employees, as well as we need to have more virtual engagement and in whatever platform that is comfortable for the employees. Sometimes, like for me, I noticed that WhatsApp is very comfortable, so just use it. It's still still engagement. Doesn't matter what platform you're using. But enforcement, no, not crucial to enforce lah. Just let it be natural.
Yeah, I think I've
Yeah.
seen companies trying to like enforce it, but sometimes like forgetting about the very basics. For example, when employees get onboarded, making sure that things are communicated to them clearly. Because I'm sharing this because we have like an onboarding module where
Mm-hmm.
when new employees are in, then sharing the highlights with them so that they're always updated about what's going on within the company. So that's like a way also to make sure everyone is aligned. But I agree with you also that, hey, if WhatsApp works, then you also need to create that culture instead of like forcing that, okay, everyone has to go here to like engage, right?
Yeah, you can provide those to them, but in the end of the day, don't limit. Don't they can just encourage them to ask questions more. So we need to invest more time in answering to this question, not to like, you visit this tutorial lah, you visit this, whatever that we've given you. I think it will not work. People nowadays love this. Sometimes when we buy things, they still love to PM. They still need that, physical, like, engagement. Not physical, like one-to-one human engagement, human approach.
Yeah. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
think she also asked, do you think this is a factor for employee retention?
Employee retention goes back to the, is touching the emotional bit, whether they feel belong, whether they're happy. I don't really think engagement is the major factor towards employee retention. I think it's more on but nowadays, from what I've seen, is more compensation related. Compensation, and also the work-life balance. Many people left because of poor compensation, or also there are no work-life balance. Those two basically more. You need to do some policies that can basically not strategies that can help to manage those two areas, instead of focusing more on employee engagement.
Yeah, yeah,
Employee
understood.
engagement, you still need to engage, but yeah, but when, to answer the employee
Yeah,
retention question, I think
yeah,
those two are what you need to
yeah.
watch out for. Yeah.
I think your answer, it makes it clear. HR has so many things to consider. It's not just about engagement; it's also compensation. It's also work-life balance. Okay.
Yeah.
Before I move to the next question, just to let you know, we have a breakout room. So the link is being shared in the comments. So if you have like more direct questions, any questions or inquiries, you can join the breakout room. We have an expert there to help to answer any of your question. So do click on the link. All right, let's go on to the next questions from Emily. Emily would like to know how to convince management to go hybrid for HR and admin department. That normal 9 to 5 work is still, adapt. Yeah. Actually, interesting. This management for HR and admin department. Okay, I'm sure.
I understand
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
the thing about HR and admin department and even finance,
Yes.
we sometimes our working hours would so much follow the our banking because we work relying more with banks, those um
Mm.
government, sometimes whoever our client is, I mean our not client, partners is, I would say banking, like for HR, the kementerian, things like that, right? They
Mm.
work 9 to 6. So
Mm-hmm.
so in okay, how to convince management? First, I'm not sure, Emily, what how old is your management team? I mean, um, you know, I understand it's very difficult to convince the older generation, those who are like maybe in the 50s and above. It's quite because they very used to be working, the way of working, very traditional way of working. But you can start um maybe pilot mode. Not don't I don't know whether Emily, your other departments in the organization are already working in hybrid, but for HR and admin, you can try to basically propose, try for a month. Um, how we did was, most of us in Todak, HR and finance, we did work 9 to 6. We set a time that we agree with the management. Boss, 10 to 4 will be we will, if you look for us, we'll be there for you. 10 to 4. Just text us or whatever, we'll be there for you. Things like that. You can find the spot. And then we'll make sure that during those times, if there's any urgent meetings, we will attend to it. But for the rest of the time, we told the management that we will be working at our own pace. But we'll be there for you. Don't worry. We'll be there for you if you need us. Maybe try and negotiate, and maybe propose, try to have like a 1 month pilot test, see whether that's work, and then try to relate with the current, the COVID cases is very high. We need to do this. Cannot be in the we need to do this. And also because people, some of us are parents, use data. Most of our finance and admin people are parents with small children. Their taska tutup, so we need to be able to work outside of our normal 9 to 6. Just I wish you all the best. It's hard, but you get through it because you can maybe quote, or some companies did that. Like maybe you can quote Todak did that and it worked. Maybe some maybe just to motivate you. Can do it. You can do it, Emily.
Yeah, you can do it, Emily. I know it's gonna be challenging, but yeah, know your chips, in your hand and see what you can do. But I think the pilot mode definitely it's a
Yeah,
good way to
try.
like try a bargain for 1 month, 2 months, better than none, right?
Make them
Okay.
trust you during that pilot
Yeah,
mode. Yep.
yeah. And then if you gain the trust during that month, then it might work. Okay. I'll take one more question.
Okay.
All right. Chu I have asked, how can we better recognize and reward employees in the world of hybrid work?
Hmm. This one you need to be creative. You need to know what motivates your employees. I really can't give you the what, but the how. You need to do more. This is where you need to engage with them more, do more focus. I don't know what's the term is like maybe ask them. Some companies use focus group, call them focus group. You just need to gather some population, see the data, the demographic of your employees, approach you know approach them and ask them what motivates them, what kind of reward that they actually are interested, I mean, yeah, they like. So based on that, then only you can propose to to have a different reward plan, also compensation plan to the management. It all comes down with data, as well as there's no one size fits all approach. It's in the end of the day, it's every businesses and every employees are different, so you need to find that out. Just ask them. Just ask them for. Just ask. Like your spouse. Sometimes you don't know what your spouse want. Just ask. Communication is key, right? Then only you propose. It will take a long time. It's not long lah. It will take. Asking is not hard. Implementing and convincing the management will be the hardest part. Convincing and implementing, but you can do it as long as you have very solid plan and solid reason. Then I think you can, and then once done, you can pilot it out lah, see whether it works.
Yeah, I think, thanks so much, Al, because I think first thing is to ask, because you can't assume that they like that, and then you make so much effort trying to give them that, and it's actually not what they are looking for, right? So just ask them. Okay.
I like to do things that people doesn't want sometimes, based on my experience. To create something that in the end of the day is not needed or required.
Yeah. I think it's also a life tip here, because like know what you need and then try to like implement that. It's the same when you're choosing your HR app as well, because you might have like certain requirements, and if that fits yours, then just go for that, because you need to know what it is. So yeah, thank you so much, Al. That's all the time we have for today's webinar. But before we wrap up, as promised, just now we mentioned that we have a giveaway for first 3 people who share this webinar link, either on their Facebook or LinkedIn profile. So here is what you need to do to win, okay? I'm sure there are instructions in the comment as well, but I'm also sharing this. Copy and paste this YouTube link to your Facebook or LinkedIn profile, and remember to tag altHR. And the second step is say done in the comment section and provide us your email address. So these 2 simple steps, and you get to win Grab voucher. Okay. So if you're the first 3, you receive an email from us regarding this Grab voucher within the next week. Okay. I hope you're our lucky winner here. And finally, well, Elle, you want to get the Grab voucher too?
No, just good luck to whoever's winning. Go for it.
Okay. So that's the end of it, and I want to thank you, Elle, for sharing your insights and what your company has gone through for our webinar. And I also want to thank everyone here who is watching, and really good luck and all the best in all your implementation. And really, HR, don't give up yet. We'll see you again in our next webinar. Do stay tuned and take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.